Okay, guys. Hi. I know it's been forever since I made a video. I actually just made one before this, but it was really long. I just rambled on about nothing, so I'm gonna fix it. I'm just gonna make another one. Because that's what you do. Because I'm too lazy to teach myself how to do all this editing crap. Okay, but anyways, I know it has been a really long time, but I hate doing like little short videos where I have like one little thing to tell you, and then like literally the next day I'm gonna find out new information for you guys anyway. So I've just kind of been letting it all fall into place, so I had something to talk about. Well, now I kind of have too much to talk about. So we have big updates. Things are moving forward. This past like week has just been crazy. It's super exciting. Things got done, and yeah, let's talk about it. So I know this whole time I've been saying, just this has to get done, and then we'll do the legal process, or we're starting the legal process and just waiting on the legal process because I know that was the last update I gave you guys. Well, guess what? The legal process is done. So let's talk about this. What does the legal process mean? Because I had no idea. I knew I was signing a contract. Okay, so let's talk about it. I want to like fix my camera so you don't see just all brown. this room this room is all wood paneling. So how do you decorate wood paneling? Apparently with brown curtains. Whatever. We'll change it eventually. So let's talk about the legal process. I have never worked with an attorney. I've never had a lawyer. I've never needed one. I've never even talked to one. Like, so I thought I knew what was happening. I thought I was prepared. I was not. So let's talk about it. So this next step was waiting for the lawyers to have a contract ready. And then I was going to talk to my lawyer, talk about the contract and everything, get it all figured out, get it signed. So we gave them all of our information, sent an email to the lawyer that the agency picked for me. She gave me like two options, and I was like, I don't even care, do whatever, because, um, I like I said, I've never worked with an attorney before. I don't know what to look for in an attorney. So they picked one for me, um, and sent them like all the information. So she sent them like the breakdown of like everything, the total compensation, and why you get all of that. That's been. I'll call him back in a second. Like why you get all the compensation, like when getting in the second trimester you get like the maternity clothes allowance, you get confirmation of heartbeat, you get a certain amount. I think the day of the transfer or something like that, like the actual procedure, I get a certain amount. Then like every month from then on, like there's just different things. Um, the campground is filling up so fast, guys. Okay, anyways, so I don't know why I'm covering up. I'm not really cold. Um, so like they sent her the lawyer. They sent her a breakdown of all of this, so she could come up with it. So at that point, we were just waiting for a contract to be ready, for us to review. Well, sorry guys, this the medication's like killing me. So so that's what we were waiting for. So I learned, since the couple that I'm with now, they've done this whole process before, not with the surrogate, but with themselves, they've done the IVF and everything. So they knew that they would only do like one. They only do so many transfers a month. So she wanted me to go ahead and get all my appointments scheduled and everything, since we knew that the legal process would be relatively quick, that my appointments would already be done, so we wouldn't have to like do the get contract signed and then have to wait to schedule my appointments and everything. So um so silent killer, he just walked right in. Lay down, mom will hold you. um so I got all my appointments scheduled. So my appointment was like coming up. It was like a week away, and we still didn't have anything done. So the surrogacy agency was contacting the lawyers, seeing what was going on, and seeing if we could get all this stuff done in time or whatever. I guess the attorney had started a case or a trial or whatever lawyers do. But she was putting us priority. She was getting it done. You want a drink? Okay, yeah. Baby. So she was putting us priority. She was getting it done. Literally, like the next day, the intended parents had a draft to review. They added whatever they wanted to add, whatever. And then a draft was sent over to me a couple of days later. So like literally, I got the draft and I was like, Ben, print this out. We're ready to go. Like I really thought that I would be signing it, like that same one, like I was ready, Well, I had an appointment to talk to the attorney. It was on like a Sunday, and my appointment was on a Friday. So it was on Sunday. I had an appointment. The attorney called me. We like talked on the phone and went page by page through this 28-page contract to break everything down, make sure I didn't have any questions. So we did that. The attorney, like I was perfectly fine with how everything was. She had a couple of questions. She wanted things to be worded differently, like for my protection. Once I'm further in the pregnancy, I'll have to do another like legal thing, to make sure that when the baby is born, I am not on the birth certificate. So she like wanted things worded differently to make sure that that gets done. So I'm protected and I don't end up on the baby's birth certificate, or if something happens to the intended parents that I'm not stuck with the baby, and like things like that. I don't care. Honestly, if something happened that I was stuck with the baby, it wouldn't be a problem. If I was stuck with the baby because I'm on the birth certificate, but a family member is getting it, like, we'll deal with it. Obviously I don't want to deal with it, but I will. Like, it wasn't a huge deal to me like they were making it seem. And then there were things like on all of the information that the lawyer got in the first place. It said that I could get anywhere from $350,000 to $500,000 in life insurance. Well, in the contract it said that I was getting $350,000 life insurance policy, and she was upset and like wanted me to get more because I have two little ones. Wanted me to get more, make sure that I was being protected, my kids were being taken care of if something were to happen to me. To me, I think that's kind of dumb. I don't really care, because I'm sorry, if something happened to me, giving my kids $350,000 isn't going to go buy them a new mom. Like, it's not going to make the process any easier. It's not like I work, it's not like I have an income. So it's not, like, to me, that just, it wasn't a big deal. Well, it was a big deal to the attorney. I was like, whatever. Like, there were things that I had to just roll with just to get it done. Like, I'm like, whatever. So, like, just things like that.
Mama,
yes, honey.
Mama, come on.
What, honey?
Tell Mama.
Blah, blah, blah is not coming on?
Yeah.
Okay, mommy will put it on. So then there was another thing that was like $1,000 for the loss of a fallopian tube or an ovary. She wasn't sure if that was one or if that was two. Like, if I would be losing all reproductive, whatever. And I guess there was an insurance policy that you can get for that too. So she wanted to talk about that. Once again, I'm like, listen, if I lose a fallopian tube or an ovary, $1,000 isn't gonna, like, money isn't gonna do anything. I'm not gonna go on the black market and buy a new fallopian tube or a new ovary. Like, that money's not gonna make a difference to me. So I was like, whatever, do whatever. So she got that and put that in the contract and everything. So sorry, I had to put blah 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 on for Hotel Transylvania. He likes when Dracula says I don't say blah blah blah. So Ed, get out, please. Ed, drinking out of the toilet. Disgusting. So there was that. And And then another big one was childcare. If I were to be put on bed rest, how much childcare I would need a week to have the kids taken care of. I have worked at a daycare. My kids have been in daycare, and I hate daycare. I would never work at a daycare again, and I would never send my kids to a daycare again. I mean, it wasn't anything horrible. It wasn't anything major. It's just I don't like it. I'm sure there are amazing daycares out there. I'm sure. But I just don't like it. I don't like it. I've seen it. I don't like it. I would not send my kids there again. So, and I am blessed with a husband that takes care of me and makes sure that I don't have to work, that I can stay home with my kids. We don't have to put the kids in daycare. Because the first 3 years of Anne Marie's life and 2 years, 2.5 years, and like a year of Bo's life, they were in daycare or were going to a babysitter's house, or I had a babysitter coming to my house or whatever. And I've been blessed to not have to do that anymore. And I love it. It's my favorite job. But anyways, so that was one of the things, and I'm like, listen, like I moved back to Pennsylvania to be close to family. If something happened that I was on bed rest, it would only be for a couple of hours a day because my husband works nights. He doesn't have to leave for work until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if not a little bit later. He could probably leave later if he needed to. So honestly, I would only need something for a couple of hours. And I live in a 32-foot camper. Remember that. I live in a 32-foot camper. I'm sitting in my bedroom right now. This is the back of the camper. This is it, right? This is the end. I can see what both my children are doing. Anne Marie's asleep. Bo's sitting on the couch watching blah, blah, blah. Like, you saw me. I just walked to the living room to put the TV on and walked back. Like, but really, I could have done that from my phone because I can just connect to the Wi-Fi and get my Roku remote from my phone, and I could have done that right here. So if I went on bed rest, the biggest thing for me would be making dinner. That's it. I could literally lay here. Bo just came to me and asked for a drink. Bottle of water right there. Like, I could literally lay here and the kids could play for a couple of hours. Ben could come home from dinner, make dinner really quick, put the food in front of the kids. They clean up their food when they're done. They know where the wipies are if they need them. They know where the water is if they need a drink of water. Like, I could literally lay here the rest of the day. I would not need to send them to daycare for something like that. And I told her that, and she's like, oh, what if there's like a local team that you wanted to hire to watch them every now and then? That's what I have family around for. I have family around so I don't have to go find a random local teen that's going to do drugs and put my kids in the microwave. Have you heard that story? That's a real thing. Anyways, we're not going to talk about it right now. Like I live in a 32-foot camper. I'm fine. It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. If I do need somebody for a couple of hours, I'll find someone for a couple of hours. But that was another thing. I was like, no, I don't need any of the money. And she's like, oh, well, you could do this and you could do that and we could have money for this. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this to get every penny out of them that I can. I'm doing this because they truly deserve a baby, and I'm going to be the one to give it to them. And I was just not prepared for the ruthlessness of an attorney. So I think that was really like the major parts of it. I think that was really the big things. So all of that was done. We did that on a Sunday. On Monday, she emailed me her list of all the changes she wanted. I said, go for it. She emailed it to their attorney, and within an hour, their response from them, they said, that's good. Everything was approved. Like, it was so fast. So then we were just waiting for the final one, like, to come back for all the changes to be made. So all the changes were made. We got it back. She read through it again, and there was wording that she wanted to have changed. Once again, for my or fallopian tubes or ovaries or whatever she was. There was some wording that she wanted changed. So they fixed that really quickly, and Thursday night, me and Ben signed the contract, and Friday morning I had my first appointment. Okay, so let's talk about that because now this is like the cycle. So I was on birth control. I think in my last video I had started birth control and we had started the legal process. So let's talk about it. So I started birth control. I was on birth control for a little over 2 months. I was on birth control, and then last Tuesday, the 28th, I stopped taking birth control to start the cycle. So I had my period, had the appointment to make sure that all the lining, from that period, everything was how they wanted it to be. I don't know exactly how they wanted it to look. I guess just to make sure like all the lining was shed and it was like clean slate, beginning of the cycle. So I had the ultrasound and I did blood work. So the last time I did blood work, like the big blood work, for like the physical to get the go ahead to like start the legal process and everything. My thyroid levels, which everything was fine, everything was normal, but my thyroid levels were on the higher end of normal. It was like they wanted it to be like 2 point something, and it was like 3 point something. Like it was not anything major. Everything is fine. It was within the normal range. It was just on the higher end. So they put me on this thyroid medication just to keep the levels down to decrease the risk of miscarriage. I'm sure if those thyroid levels really were like really high, like without not within that normal range. I'm like stumbling on words here. But if it was like not within that normal range and it was really, really high, I'm sure like we wouldn't have continued because the level, like the chances of miscarriage or whatever. But anyways, it was fine, but they wanted it still a little bit lower. So they have me on the thyroid medication. So I have been on that as long as, I've been on the birth control. So they did an ultrasound and they did blood work. A couple hours after the appointment, they called me. Blood work was good. Ultrasound was good. I can start taking my next rounds of medication. So I have this calendar that I have to follow that it has, exactly what medications I need to take every day. So right now I am taking my prenatals, my thyroid medication. I'm taking my baby aspirin, and I'm taking my first hormone. It's like estrase or something like that. That's my first hormone that I have to take. So this hormone, I've been told this whole time, everyone said that like the worst part of this whole thing is going to be a shot in my butt. Once they start the hormones, I get a shot in my butt. Remember, we talked about this. This clinic does things differently. This clinic does not do a shot in your butt. This clinic does pills. But they're not pills that you swallow. They're pills that you up the hoo-ha. Okay, so let's talk about that. All right. Okay, boys, stop talking or stop watching. All right, if there are any males on here, just leave. Ew. I am that person that thinks that the female reproductive system is disgusting. I think all of it is gross. If I had any interest in it, I'd be a lesbian, and I'm not. Ew. Ew. So if it was once a week, whatever, I'll get over it, It's not that bad. If that's the worst thing I'm gonna do this whole experience, whatever. If it was once a day, yeah, that kind of sucks, but you'll get over it. It's 3 times a day. 3 times a day. 3 times a day. I have an alarm set on my phone. So 3 times a day, my phone tells me to take my hoo-ha pill. Like, by far the worst part. This whole experience has been wonderful. This is by far the worst part. I have been poked with needles. I have had cameras shoved up my hoo-ha on multiple occasions. I have had so many doctors' faces in my hoo-ha. And it's, whatever. It's, it's gotta be done. But listen, 3 times a day. It sucks. It sucks. And then I'm like, is it gonna fall out? Do I need to lay down for an hour and let it dissolve? Like, what do I do? In reality, it does not fall out. I'm fine. I can just walk around and move, with my normal life, and it's fine. But it's just weird. It's really weird. So, that's all that I'm on right now.
Let's drink.
You want to drink?
Yeah.
On the 14th, on Valentine's Day, I have drink the rest of it and throw it away. I have my next appointment. I have to do another ultrasound. Sorry, I had to think there for a second if I did my afternoon one. I did when we got home.
I'm gonna get rest.
You're gonna drink it? Yeah, you can drink the rest. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I had to stop the thing for a sec. So what am I talking about? Okay, on the 14th on Valentine's Day, I have my next appointment. I have to do an ultrasound. And I have to do more blood work. Same thing that I just did. As long as everything's good, then they'll call me back with results and everything. And they'll give me the go-ahead to start more medication. So on top of everything that I'm taking right now, I have 3 more that I have to take. One of them is another up the hoo-ha, and 2 more I'm pretty sure I just swallow. I'll have to look into that. Make sure I'm not swallowing the hoo-ha pills. So yeah, I'll get the go-ahead to start those. It sucks. And like, I was complaining to someone about this. I don't remember who. And they're like, oh, well, you're going to do the transfer so you can be pregnant. You won't have to do it anymore. No, I have to do it until well into my pregnancy. I think it's 6 weeks into my pregnancy. I have to. Yeah. So anyways, so as long as everything on the 14th goes good, I'll start those last 3 medications, that I have to take every day. And then on February 20th is the transfer. I'm super excited. Super, super excited. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the technical updates. I got some tea for everybody here. I've got some drama. So do y'all remember, for those of you who have actually been watching all of my videos and you're not just getting caught up on this one, because if this is the only one you've watched, please go watch the other ones, or this one's not going to make any sense. Okay, so some drama. You guys know, in the beginning of this whole process, after a week of my profile being live, I was matched with intended parents. Do y'all remember that? Remember that? Okay. Do y'all remember I was so excited getting all this done, planning our trip to Vegas, and they said, nope, just kidding. We broke up. Remember that? Remember that? Okay. On a Friday, they called and said that they broke up, canceled everything. Monday, they said, just kidding, we're back together. They explained it to me. They had a party. He got drunk. She got upset. They split up. Or no, I don't think they split up. I think they just decided that they didn't want a baby. Whatever. But either way, they had stopped the surrogacy. before, it was like before I met them. It was before I went out to Vegas to do my clinics and everything. So it wasn't a huge deal. Like at that point, I still had to do my physical, like my big physical with them, with all my blood work and everything, and my saline ultrasound, and then we were gonna start legal. That's how, like, that's the part where we were at. Um, and they stopped it. Then on Monday they had called and said that they had figured everything out. Everything was fine. She overreacted. They're good. They still want a baby. So I was like, all right. Within like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I was in Vegas with them. Um, I had like my saline ultrasound. I did all the blood work. I got to meet them, and then we had a whole day that we were just in Vegas, and it was so fun. Um, it was a great experience. I had never been to Vegas. I had never been further than like Illinois or Pensacola for the Navy. Like that was the furthest west I've been. So that was a really cool experience. I was super excited. It was a lot of fun. It was great meeting them. They're really nice people. Um, Nothing against them, I guess. And then when I got back from Vegas, just do a little recap here. So for those of you that hadn't watched it, when I got back from Vegas, we waited 2 weeks for my results to come back. Everything for me came back good. Everything was good to go. I think the father, of the intended parents, he had to do some blood work. We were waiting for his stuff to come back, and about a week after that, they called again and canceled it. Again, they were done. For real this time, apparently. Well, not last Friday, but the Friday before, they called me. So it's been like months. I'm pretty sure that it was all in like what, September? Sometime around there. Yeah, something like that. They called me. They're back together, better than ever, happy, and want a baby. She said, before I get into the specifics, I wanted to know if you're still available. No. I was like, no, I'm actually in the process of, in the legal process of signing a contract with other intended parents. And she was like, okay, great. Good luck in your journey. And this kind of hits me in some kind of way. The fact that, it wasn't a big deal. It's not like we were like already done with the legal process and like about to do the transfer or had already done the transfer. Like it was the right time to do it because we hadn't gotten that far. But emotionally, I was giving these people a baby. Like the fact that they're going to go get another surrogate and they're going to do this to her. What if it's somebody that desperately needs this money? Or I don't know, just someone else could be stuck in this chat. We don't desperately need the money. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what if someone else goes to be a surrogate for them, and it's someone that does need that, someone that is doing this for different reasons, or I don't know, whatever, but just anybody. They're gonna what if they have another surrogate pregnant and then they break up? Like what are they just with everybody involved, not just for the surrogate, but for a baby? Like, do not bring a baby into this world unless 100% certain that you want this baby. Please just don't have a baby. That's ridiculous. They're just doing it because they have the money to do it, and that's sad. It's sad. I had the amazing privilege of meeting my new intended parents. We had been texting, updates and stuff like that, but I got to meet them. Not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. We had breakfast together, and just, if anybody in this world deserves a baby, is this amazing couple. It's just, they're amazing, and with everything that they have gone through, they deserve this more than anybody. And I'm so excited. Like they're kind of making me see like how much I've been taking for granted. I mean, we were at breakfast and we were talking about, my pregnancies with my two kids. Because my kids were there, obviously. And I was explaining that, Anne Marie's pregnancy was super easy. Like it was so easy. I had no problems. With Bo, I was sick. I was living off of protein shakes. I couldn't look at chicken. I couldn't be anywhere near Subway. I like it was crazy. I had really weird cravings. I had like I don't know, there were a lot of things that I could not eat. It was just weird. But it was just a different experience. I was much more sick with him and it affected me more. You know what I mean? Like I just had more, crazy pregnancy, symptoms and stuff. That you hear. I mean, nothing like out of the ordinary, just like really weird cravings and stuff like that. But it was a lot different. So I was just, laughing and saying that if they're having a boy, I'll definitely know. And she was like, well, I'm convinced that he can only have girls because it's a donor egg, but it's still his sperm. She's like, I'm convinced that he can only have girls, and she said that the baby that they had lost was a girl, and I'm like just what they must have gone through. You know what I mean? I take it for granted. I have two beautiful kids who Anne Marie was this miracle baby. I was on birth control when I got pregnant with her. Definitely not planned, but God bless her. Bo, we had planned. We were ready to try and honestly didn't think it was going to happen because we only had like a couple chances before Ben left for deployment. I got pregnant on the first try. So it's just crazy to think, how easy it was. And it was, I don't know, it's just something that I don't even think about. I'm like, yeah, I got pregnant or whatever. Like for me, it's just something that comes so easy. but, but then there was another thing, like once I finally got approved to start this medication, I was so excited. I was like, I cannot believe that in the month of February, this month, I am going to be pregnant. Like, isn't that crazy? Well, I mean, obviously, I still have to get to my next appointment, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I was texting the intended mother about it, and I was like, I'm too excited. I'm on Amazon shopping for maternity clothes right now. I'm so excited. And she was like, I would be doing the same. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just something that she is never going to get to experience. And I'm just really excited to be the one to include her in this experience. I want, like, she's never going to go out and go shopping for maternity clothes. She's never going to be like, oh my gosh, guys, the baby's kicking. But, I get to be the one that says, hey guys, look, the baby's kicking. Like I'm so truly blessed with the capabilities that my body has, and it is an amazing thing. God bless, but I'm also blessed to be able to do this for them. It is a, what are you playing with?
Okay, it was there.
Yeah, the animal's there. Yeah, zebras and the giraffe. He found I have like this little Minnie Mouse, like little leather like wallet that for whatever reason still has my Disney's ticket in it, and it has animals on it. He found it. He found it in the drawer that I have like half open because the neighbor just stopped and needed a phone charger. But anyways, so yeah, I'm really excited, and I am blessed to be doing this for them, and I'm so super excited to be doing this for them, and I'm going to keep them involved with as much as I possibly can. If I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I want a Snickers, or I'm just feeling sick or whatever, I'm gonna be texting them and telling them all about it, and I want them, because think about it, you hear about all these other moms complaining about how they can't sleep because they're pregnant, or they wake up in the middle of the night and want ice cream and they're complaining because their significant other wouldn't get them ice cream, or like, she's probably wishing that she could do that. She's wishing and dreaming and praying to lose sleep because of her big pregnant belly. And he's probably praying, and he wished that he could wake up in the middle of the night and go get her ice cream. And it's the little things that we take for granted. Um but I want to keep them involved in as much as I can, because I don't want to take it for granted. I want them to experience it just like it's happening to them, and in whatever ways that I can. So with that note, I'm gonna go. Did you poop? You stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go change a poopy diaper. Can we say bye-bye?
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
I will make a video probably a couple days after Valentine's Day to give you guys an update on how the hormones are doing. Okay, ready? Push this button right here. Can you push it right there? Push it. Bye, guys.